Welcome back to Pardubice and Czech as a whole. You join me at the end of December to see how the first half of the first season has gone, including all the ins and outs and the good luck of the fixtures so far and the tactic. Because quite frankly, the tactic's been ridiculous. But, little teaser there, the ins and outs are actually relatively straightforward. Anyone from the 21st of June onwards are me. So on the right hand side, if I get out of the way, 4 outs, just very much fringe players for nothing money really. 40 grand thereabouts for 2 of them, 15 grand for another. And Bernardo Rosa, who is here. West Ham, former West Ham, I won't say wonder kid, but competent Premier League level was his potential ability once upon a time. No longer, but weirdly connected. Not only is he West Ham, but I've actually signed him before in long-term lower league saves on the way up, if I remember rightly, either York or Bradford. But on the inbound side, it was mostly about filling some major holes and improving some positions quite significantly. You recall, of course, that the right-hand side, attacking-wise, had nobody. So Ole Ocheretko came in on loan from Shakhtar, and Juba Drame was signed from Fastav Zlin in the same division for 67 grand as his backup. Michael Lufner was signed on a free to be in our defence, formerly of Mol Verhoeven, but also formerly of Cypriot Team Omanoia, but a Czech player who actually originated at Tbilisi and Slavia Prague for a year seemingly, is back in the Czech Republic. Ivan Šaponic was brought in on loan, a player I think I actually once probably sold at Atletico Madrid when I did a beta save of theirs once upon a time, a long time ago now, but finds himself at Slovan Bratislava, but we've loaned him from them for the year to vastly improve our attacking line because the other options are not good. Cletus Nombol exists as a very much functional emergency backup for midfield roles because he does both of them. He's not great, he's 2 stars, but quite frankly, getting anybody on normal money for our squad is difficult. Similarly, Ševčić on loan because he's been a weird one. Actually, you may notice he's actually not at the club right now. That's a thing that happened. So, after playing for us 9 times, all off the bench, admittedly, after playing for us 9 times, his parent club decided that I wasn't playing him enough, despite the fact I signed him on a squad player loan basis. So they recalled him. I immediately asked if I could loan him again, and they said yes. So he'll join when the transfer window reopens on the 26th of January, making the whole thing a bit of a farce. We do play 3 games in the interim between that and now, because of the World Cup, but normally, I don't think there should be games before this point in January. There's a very long winter break. Stefan Dimic was brought in on loan as well from Radniki, or Ragnici probably, if they pronounce their C's the same way. Again, a backup player for the left-hand side behind Zradnicek. Then lastly, because one of the loan options at left back contract does run out on the 26th of January, and their parent club has decided they don't want him to play in the same division again and want to vary where he plays. I've never seen that message before. The upshot is they won't let him stay. So I got in a 34-year-old Italian left-back just to cover us for the remainder of the season. But 650 quid, it's the best I can do. And I think I may have just overlooked our record signing of Michael. Have I been calling him Michael by accident? Is it still pronounced Michael? But Serzin, or Serzine, depending on how you want to pronounce that, a more competent right-back than we had before. Svoboda was our starting one there before that, and he's not actually right-back officially. Still training him there. He's not developed any better, but he is right-footed and he should be a right-back, and that allowed the original backup right-back to be sold. But as of this winter break, which is missing a few games just because of people's European commitments and the World Cup forcing those games to be sort of December and January, some people have played 18 games, some people have played 12. Looking at you, Silvaco, who weirdly we have actually played twice, despite their European commitments. They just moved all of their other games out of the way to accommodate that. And for a team still predicted at 450 to 1 in the bottom positions beneath the promoted team, the fact we are 3rd is nothing short of a miracle. There are teams behind us with games in hand looking specifically at Victoria Plzeň, who are only 5 points behind but with 2 games in hand. Sparta Prague ahead of us have 4 games in hand on Slavia Prague. They're ahead of us even with games in hand on us. The Pragues might be difficult. In fact, the 3rd Prague in the form of Brahim's Praha, who we were sharing a stadium with, right behind us. We actually changed stadium very shortly to what is listed as our training ground. It's actually less seats, which is odd and poor pitch condition. I don't really know why. It seems like a backward step, but at the very least, we won't need to travel to Prague to play our home games. What we save on travel, we're probably going to have to spend on relaying the pitch. But yeah, by the time this video is live, the first of the West Ham videos at least will have gone live. I haven't decided whether I'm going to do them Monday, Friday, or Monday, Wednesday with this on Friday yet. But by the time this goes live, you will have been introduced to my West Ham team and the formation that they'll be playing, and it is basically the same formation, just not accommodating for a left footer playing the CM attack, and a simplified central defence just because it's a weaker league with weaker defenders creatively. But otherwise, it's the same formation, and it has been doing similar things. 5-0 away at one of the biggest sides, or better sides, in this division was an early sign that things might be going in our favour this year with the way this is set up. And it's worth noting, whilst I do simulate some of the games for the West Ham save, I do play the bigger ones manually, none of the games here have been simulated. All of them were done live on Twitch, on stream, so there's no hiding behind simmed games off stream or anything like that. Every single of these games was played live on record. So this isn't just he simulated and it's gone better and, it's gone better because of that thing. This is legitimately the formation. Because there's no realistic reason why a team predicted 14th or 15th at various points of the season should be 3rd. These first 2 games we played without conceding a single shot on target. They had 2 shots, none on target, and the team predicted 5th had 3 shots, none on target. We played them again recently and won 7-2. They actually had shots on target that time, obviously, because they scored 2, but most of their XG was the late penalty. We have had losses to Slovakia recently, and Slavia Prague is understandable as a loss, as is the away to Bohemians Praha, who aren't actually predicted that highly as well. They are overachieving too, but wins against other very good teams like Baník Ostrava at home there, and a home draw to Slavia Prague and Slovakia again. They're teams that entered European competitions. Slavia Prague failed the qualification stages, hilariously. Only Sparta Prague, Victoria Plzeň and Slovakia are actually in a European competition, and I think all 3 of them were in the Conference League, and none of them have gotten out of the group stages, which probably is going to make it a little bit more difficult coefficient-wise going forward, which, you know what, I actually appreciate as a challenge, because now I've got to help them drag it back up again. So, in a weird way, thank you for being rubbish. Because I was slightly worried about the longevity of this save based on this first season. So if there's a little bit more for me to do on the Build a Nation side of things, then grand. But a net 12-2 against the 5th best team in the league, although their overall performance isn't that great for Jablonec, they are 8th. But Baník are 5th and we've beaten them. But to be fair, we did lose to Bohemians Praha away from home. We did lose to Slavia Prague away from home. Yet to play Plzeň because of their European commitments. But away wins at sort of teams that are next in line, and a home draw against Slavia Prague, it is promising. And a home win against Baník Ostrava, as I say. It is promising this season. And at this point, no reason not to really expect a top 6 finish, which, as a reminder of the rules, this division splits into top 6, bottom 6, and middle 4 for some reason. Genuinely no idea why it doesn't just go top 8, bottom 8, but never mind. Top 6 sort themselves out into 5 European positions, then just somebody in 6th. Who earns 12 grand and that's it. These prize monies, I hope they scale quite dramatically as the league gets more reputable, but the majority of the money is going to come through Champions League, etc. But Slavia Prague are ridiculous. Just want to point that out. If you didn't see it in the actual league table, they've not lost a single game. And, they played quite a lot of games in October there. 9, if my maths is correct, and won all of them. Also, the one game they played in November after that. In fact, they've won 11 on the bounce in the league. Ourselves, Sparta Prague and Slovakia are the only 3 teams to have taken any points away from them league-wise. And yet they still lost to Konyaspor in the Europa Conference League qualifying shenanigans. Also weirdly lost to this team in a friendly. Don't have that league loaded. No idea how good they are. Not in the top 3 in any recent years. I could see them a little bit further back. But, And finally, I just realised I didn't focus on the cup at all. That's because the first 2 rounds were pretty much just straightforward. Lower league divisions, lower league teams, obliterated both of them, and then as soon as we played a top division team, lost. So there's something still to look forward to there in future seasons, but I really hope this year's Mole Cup isn't a representation of how it's going to go every year, because if I go on the round of 16, you can see that every single team in the round of 16 are the 16 top division teams. In the round before, the 16 games were between 16 top division teams and then 16 teams who were either Division 2 or lower. All top division teams got through. Via penalties, extra time, whatever. They all got through, which is a little depressing. But you can see if we sort by coefficients, as things stand with the poor performance of the 3 teams that are in the Europa Conference League, we have been usurped by Turkey, guaranteed. If there are still Danish teams or Croatian teams in the mix, then it could get worse. But just to confirm that for the Builder Nation side of things, Victoria Plus on 3rd in their group because they lost their last game and didn't qualify as a result. That's particularly painful because they were top going into the final week. Hearts got through their group just for home nations representation, but Slovakia were 3rd in their group, quite comfortably so, behind Malmo and Fiorentina, and unfortunately Sparta Prague finished 3rd in their group because they failed to beat Wolfsburger on their final game as well. Had they won that game 2-0 or higher, they would have gone through. Dundee United through as well, just for, again, home nations representation. Ahead of Young Boys, so that's relatively, that's a relative achievement. But yeah, unless a massive team falls out of the Europa League, it's probably a 4-way fight between Cologne, West Ham, Villarreal or Fiorentina. You know, the 4 teams remaining from the 5 big leagues. No French teams in it. Betis. Okay, well, we'll add Betis to that mix of teams that could win this competition. I see a Turkish team and I see a Danish team in Copenhagen, so I'm not confident we're even going to stay ahead. Oh, Minoria is still in it. Another Cypriot team still in this. Once again, looking at the nations directly behind us in the standings, I also just realised I ignored Norway, who jump a massive amount ahead of us. So at this stage, we are dropping 2, but Denmark, Croatia and Cyprus, the 3 directly behind. Cyprus with quite a bit to catch up, so I think even if Omanoy win the thing, it's going to be a big ask for them to get past. But Denmark, if Copenhagen do well, we could be in a spot of bother losing another place. And I saw Swedish teams there as well, but again, they are a significant portion behind. So probably all right on those 2, but we could fall as many as 3 places in the coefficients from 15th to 18th, I'd imagine that to be. But personally, club-wise, things going fantastically, as you saw there. If you want to join me on Twitch, I'm typically going to be at least 1 recap video's worth ahead, almost, by the time these go live. Possibly more. Just a fair warning there. I may have to release a secondary recap vid just to get caught up a little bit more so we don't end up miles behind on YouTube, but we'll see on that front. But yes, the link for Twitch is down below. Follow me over there. Like, comment, subscribe these videos too if you're enjoying it. I will see you very soon. Ciao.